I want to talk about the different bot metas that we currently have. If you're talking about trading bots, you either have a preconceived idea of what it is, but I believe there's really three different ways that we can look at this, and we're going to take a look at that. We're going to talk about a few projects in question. As I said many times before, I am partnered with Astrobit. We're going to take a look at that bot service. It's a subscription-based service. Then we're going to take a look at a project that is like Aviate, where you have a token and they're essentially investing your money for you. And we're also going to take a look at the NFT bot model, where you have an NFT, you purchase an NFT, then because you have that NFT, you're essentially getting rewards on a certain time frame. And we're going to take a look at that model as well. Now, just before we do, I just wanted to point out something. It's quite funny. Just bear with me here. So I made this video about Aviate a few days ago. A lot of people were commenting on this and saying good work, and obviously they appreciate my thoughts. And again, I honestly hope that Aviate does do well. I have nothing against anyone in this project. They've raised $1.5 million. I just sincerely hope that they do well, and the questions I am raising is not to cast shade on a project or on people. It's mainly just to make people understand that these are some of the questions that others in the community also have, but because I have a YouTube channel, I'm able to voice my opinion, and people say I'm too needy. And the comment I just wanted to share with you guys today was this one here from Crypto Truth Bombs. And if you guys aren't familiar with who that is Lou, who is the CEO or co-founder or whatever the case may be with Truth Seekers. And he basically commented this as soon as my video was posted, and he says, dude, you're twisting this to try and make Josh look bad because he didn't have the time to answer all your 100 million questions. Now, I understand that I did ask a lot of questions. I mean, for me, because we've been through so many things in DeFi with especially bot projects and bought this, bought that, I've built, and I'm sure a lot of you have built up all of these questions that you want to ask. And obviously, if the project founder isn't answering them, then it looks bad. But like I said in that other video, Josh was answering all my questions. And I don't know why I got banned or muted. In that case, he was answering all my questions. He was doing a good job answering my questions, but I still got muted. So I don't know if you guys feel the same. I mean, we've been through what? Stable Fund, Rely Fund, Yield Robot, all of these garbage projects. Now PGV, who knows if people are going to be getting their refunds back. But all of these projects have made us investors kind of understand what's going on, and that's the reason why we're asking questions. Now, maybe I'm asking too many questions. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But then he goes on and he says, you're way too needy. He answered mostly all of them. I saw it, and I did also say that he answered most of them. Then he says, you got banned because this is all done under loaded pretenses. What's the loaded pretense? I'm just trying to understand if this is going to be legit, if it's not just another Rely Fund or Yield Robot. If you're answering all my questions, it gives me a better idea about the project, and it gives me a better sense of, okay, this is actually legit or this is actually going to rug. Of course, I'm not saying that Aviate is going to rug. That's not at all what I'm saying, but that's the reason I'm asking these questions, and it's not under any loaded pretenses. Then he says, why don't you say the truth? That you're partnered with Astrobit and financially motivated to try and throw shade on him. And he's referring to Joshua. Then he says he's got a project to run and 2,500 other people to help. And of course, he's going to highlight the tokenomics with the assumption that people are buying for its primary use case. The bots grow up. So this is, again, the CEO or the co-founder of Truth Seekers replying this in my comments of my video, basically me saying that I got banned and that some of my questions are still unanswered. They are essentially, I guess, not partnered, but they're the ones doing the KYC and the audit of Aviate. Well, I'll just leave it like that because it speaks for itself. And I find it very funny that he says, "Why don't you say the truth?" I have literally said in all of my Astrobit videos, if you're in my community, if you're in my Discord, if you've watched any of my videos, I say countless times that I am a partner with Astrobit. I do not pay the monthly fees for Astrobit, and I do get a small kickback if you do sign up with my code and end up buying a bot. I am not hiding absolutely anything. So again, it just goes to show that he was acting on emotions here, but it is what it is. And he deleted his comment because now I don't see it in the comment section of this video. Now, I just wanted to point out a few more things that I kind of find a bit iffy on this whole topic. Dow King and Josh had an AMA yesterday. They were talking about Aviate. So I say, will there be any LP incentives for people who want to provide liquidity? And let's just find the spot where he actually talks about this.
Yeah, could probably be any LP incentives for people who want to provide an LP.
No, not currently.
It's possible down the line because Command Swamp, I think we're gonna do a token for it for farming. So we could probably
okay.
we could probably give you a farm down the road. I don't see why not.
Yeah,
I mean, might be a
that's a
couple.
good idea.
Yeah, it might be a couple months down the road.
Yeah,
But
like it won't be there will be no LP incentives like on launch, but yeah, it's
no,
not a bad idea.
but then you can't stake it, so because it's in the LP. But this is actually a really good LP token. He has a good idea because um, the token's going to be hopefully relatively stable, right? So it's a good token to LP, and then you're giving out a rewards. Would you rather take those rewards in a farm token, or would you rather stake it and get it in USDC? It's actually a really interesting dilemma, right? Actually, really interesting. If the rewards are good, then we need to get a Lambo estimate.
So that was essentially the answer to my question. I mean, yeah, we can kind of understand that there's not going to be an LP incentive at the beginning. And for those of you who aren't too sure what that means, is that sometimes some projects, to incentivize their liquidity, to get people to participate in their liquidity pool, to increase that size of the liquidity pool, they give out a reward, whether or not that's a token, USDC, whatever the case may be. They give out a reward for people to want to stake and provide liquidity. So that was essentially my question. The way kind of it was answered, again, I'm not too sure if Dow King's an advisor to this project or not, but he was essentially saying that, yeah, in the future, we could give you an LP token or a farm. Again, is it Josh's project or is Dow King an advisor? But that was just something else I wanted to highlight on this AMA. And again, I'm not bashing anything. And the funny thing is that Dow King says that I have a good idea, and you have Lube just basically bashing me. But you know, it's all good and fun. It's YouTube, it's DeFi. Everybody's having fun here. But if we get back on track to the main purpose of this video, if we talk about the 3 different bot metas. So if we just take a look at the first bot meta, as I said, we have a subscription model where you pay a monthly fee, you have access to these bots. Whether or not your bots are making money or losing money, you're gonna have to pay those fees. Now, that's basically something like Astrobit. So if we take a look at the bot meta 2, well, you have this token model similar to Aviate. So you buy the Aviate token, you stake it into a staking contract. They essentially take that money, they put it onto a centralized exchange, and they're trading all of that for you, and they're giving you back some dividends. Now, there's not a monthly fee, but you do have to buy the token, and you do also have to sell it at one point if you want to get out of that project. Now, last and finally, the Bot Meta 3 is an NFT model, and this is basically you buy an NFT, so you have a sunk cost. Let's say you're buying an NFT for $1,000, and your project is essentially going to take that money and again trade it on a centralized exchange for you, but you don't have a token, you have an NFT, and then you get monthly rewards or whatever time frame in terms of rewards. So now if we just do a quick comparison of these different 3 bot projects, I have a few items here that I thought of what you're looking for in a bot project and what may, decide or steer you in a certain direction. So if we have monthly fees, well, your subscription model is obviously going to have a subscription. It's going to be a monthly fee. So that's a negative thing. And then these two are obviously not going to have any monthly fees. Now, if we take a look at the sunk costs, well, the only one that's going to have a sunk cost is in fact that NFT, because you have to put $1,000 or $500 up front, and then you have to wait a few months or several months to get your money back. Now, the redeemable one is essentially if you have a token and you need to redeem your tokens in order to get out of the project. And at that point, you still don't necessarily know what your selling cost is because it all depends on the token price. So for this one here, the good thing, or the only one that has it, is in fact a token model project. Now, if we move on to safety, and this is basically safety of funds. So if we go on to the subscription model and again take a look at Astrobit, Astrobit doesn't actually hold any of your funds. They're all on your own centralized exchange on your own account. You always have access to it, but again, it is on a centralized exchange, and we've seen what has happened with centralized exchanges in the past. So in that sense, or in that case, I'm going to say that your fund safety, because it's on a centralized exchange, it's not quote unquote safe. So we're going to put a red here. We're also going to put a red for both these token and NFT models because everybody is using a centralized exchange to trade. The only difference here is that you have access to your funds versus someone else is controlling your funds for you. Now, in terms of security, I mean, Astrobit has a 2FA, it has an actual company. So again, you can go and essentially contact them if you need to contact them. You have their address. They are a legal company. So in that sense, I'm going to say that that is a good thing. And DeFi projects, I mean, it's kind of all over the place. Some are obviously an actual legitimate company, others are not, but we're just going to say that DeFi, because it is mostly DeFi projects, and who knows if they are actually a legitimate company, we're going to put these as yellow because, again, nobody really knows. Now, if we go back to the access to funds, as I said, Astrobit doesn't have any of your funds. Now, obviously, some other subscription models may have access to your funds, so that's obviously something you have to look at. But if we take a look at these 2 other models, you are essentially putting your funds into a contract or into an NFT, and your funds are taken out of that, put onto a centralized exchange, and you don't have access to them. So that's kind of what it's looking like. Again, I know there's a liquidity pool for the token, and I know that you could theoretically sell your NFT, but there always needs to be a buyer and a seller for that to happen, versus Astrobit, where you can just go and, take out money if you want to take out money. So again, in that sense, and again, I'm just using Astrobit because that's the only subscription model I am using. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. Now, the next one, bot settings. I can adjust my bot settings on Astrobit to whatever I want. And here, I mean, yes, these 2 other models are going to have their bot settings. The founders or the people managing the money are able to manage those bots and those settings, but you as the user or the investor are not able to do so. But of course, they do also say that if you have an NFT, I'm referring to Aviate here, you may be able to tweak some settings. So I'm going to leave it as yellow as well because it depends on the project and it kind of depends on what you're doing and where you're investing. Now, in terms of cancellation, again, a subscription model, you can always cancel at any time. Obviously, you're just going to have to pay up until you end up canceling. And these token models or NFT models, there's no real cancellation again. You kind of just have to sell, or you have to hope that someone buys it. That's how you get out of the project, and that's your cancellation if I am trying to make a cancellation out of these two other projects. So that's kind of how it shapes up, in my opinion. You guys can have different opinions. It's entirely just an opinion. Let me know down in the description below or the comment section below what you guys think of these different models. If I missed one, I may make an update video on this, but that's kind of how I see it. And the reason I've stuck to a subscription model rather than a token model or an NFT model, obviously, I'm not saying that you can't make money with these other models, but this kind of model here I like better because I have more control over my funds. So with all of that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.